Welcome to the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, Ed, aka The Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube at Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday Night Live stream here. We're hanging out live here. This is Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, Ed, and we're here. All your favorite podcast apps. Where can you find us? Well, first off, we talk film, TV, and tech. If you're new to the channel, got to get all this out the way. We discuss things in the film industry, in front of the camera, behind the camera. We talk about the box office, projections of how things are going. We do the same with TV and any cool things, and all from a geek perspective, and also tech. We haven't talked much about tech, but we'll be talking a little bit about it. I'm gonna, if you've familiar, I guess I need to tell you there, you'll see if you're watching the YouTube video, you're obviously here. Please subscribe to the channel, enable notifications. You can do, regular ones, or you can do all. Especially if you click all, you're going to get notified every time we've got new content. And we've got a lot of stuff here. We also do some gaming on here. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that. And some other great things I've got planned this year on the podcast here. So hopefully you'll find some stuff that you're interested in. And on YouTube, we're at youtube.com/@Geek Homeworld 4248. You can like, share, and subscribe there. And if you're not available to watch this live, then you can certainly catch it on the replay. And feel free to I'm hearing there's no sound. Is there is sound. I've got sound. Digital Caveman popped in. He said there's no sound. I'm hearing sound. Let me see. I've got sound. Digital Caveman popped in. He said there's no sound. It's playing. I'm hearing sound. Let me see. I got sound. Digital Caveman popped in. I'm hearing it on my phone here. There's no sound. It's check your device. Anyway, so welcome, Digital Caveman. He said he can't hear me, but I'm playing it on my phone there, and it's coming across good. I'm hearing sound, so might be something on your end. But anyway, so let's see. We're at youtube.com/@Geek Homeworld 4248. Please like, share, and subscribe. It means everything. The thumbs up. We're on Twitter and X and all those wonderful ones. Twitter, which is X. We're on there at Geek Homeworld. We're on Blue Sky app, and I forgot our numbers. Oh, Digital Caveman says it helps if I unmute the video. Well, a lot of people like to mute me, so I'll do what I must. But anyway, check us out. And since I've got Caveman, if you want to come on, let me know. I'll obviously drop the link in the chat, and you can pop in, or I sent you the link as well. Anyway, so Geek Homeworld, but you also want to support other creators. I got a new toy coming soon that I'm going to tell you about on this episode, and it's going to do all this autofocus for me. So that's going to be our tech part of talking tonight. Surprise, surprise. But you can't read this well because it's not adjusting. But Digital Caveman Presents, that's my friend. He does action figure reviews, not unboxings. Unlike if you saw you should check out I did a couple of videos, my Christmas toy haul, and you'll see the one that's got a customized picture of myself holding up a Superman Clark Kent figure, this one right here, and you'll see it in the picture for that one. On that particular YouTube stream, I was on there. The one before, I was tried it OBS with 2 cameras and was doing an unboxing live. And I was like, Caveman, how do you do this? And he's like, this is why I don't do live unboxings. And he doesn't technically do unboxings on his channel. He does action figure reviews, live streams, which he's got one coming up. And if you, I'm listening, but editing videos. So Caveman, I'm putting this in the chat. So Caveman, you sure you don't want to pop on and promote your live stream this Thursday? I'm baiting you. So yeah, anyway, Digital K-Man Presents, he's going to have a, with Raziel Kane, is going to be on there, and I'm going to be joining them as well Thursday. I don't know what time, he sent me a post, but I can't look at it now on my phone. So anyway, go to Digital K-Man Presents on YouTube. He's at youtube.com/@Digital Caveman, and that's with 2 N's. That's 9 p.m., by the way. He says he's doing a live stream this Thursday, 9 p.m. on Instagram. Put it in the chat if you're not going to pop on here and make me do the hard work promoting your channel. But he's doing a live stream, and they're going to be talking about some stuff, and I didn't have a chance to look at it. I'll have a promo out on my channels. But anyway, if you like, what do you call it? Action figure reviews from all different genres, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, no Star Trek. You said not Instagram. You said it's on YouTube. You sent me a thing, K-Man, saying it was on Instagram, or I misunderstood. Anyway, it's on his YouTube channel. We got that coming up Thursday. So this is a live stream, so nothing's planned. It's the way I like things. Well, all right. Sorry about that. I went to grab a cable and got a blackout there, but we're still here. I've got to work on my desk. But anyway, this is one of my cool, from my unboxings. You saw them in the box, but now you're seeing it in action. I've got this lamp, which is pretty cool. And it does adjust and all that. And it's the Millennium Falcon. Funny thing, this right here, the deflector dish was broken, and I glued it back on. I had to glue it back on, but it was broken in the package. But if you remember in Return of the Jedi, Lando, when they're inside the second Death Star destroying it, they knocked that off. So anyway, it's back on. But this is the cool thing that the lamp does. It has a plug here, just a simple plug or switch, and you do this, and then boom. How cool is that? So the camera doesn't like that, but that's pretty dang cool. This is one of my favorite gifts that I got. And this is supposed to go off camera here. And I know as soon as I put this here, it's going to disrupt the signal. So bear with me if the sound and video go out for a second. Mute. And we're back. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, and this thing pivots. You can't see, but I'm pivoting it, the light. So there's a little bit of light coming on me there. I can turn it. So that's kind of cool. So we've got that. Can you hear and see me? Hear and see me. Okay. I think it's back on. Yeah, we're back on. I'm watching on my phone just to monitor it. So anywho, got some cool things. So anyway, blah 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 blah. What are we here for? There's some things I want to talk about. I want to look at the box office of 2024, and I may actually show you what my running. It's not my final list of 2024 films are, because there's some that I have to watch. But I may show you a list, a preliminary list that I've got. In fact, I think I will do that. I just did a Google Doc or an Excel sheet of the films that I've seen this year that are like my geeky top 10 of the year. And then I usually partner with a friend of mine, Scott, and who works in the film industry, and we usually put together our top 10s, or present his and present mine. And I think last year we did a geeky top 10. And so I'm waiting for him to watch every single movie that came out in 2024. And he's far exceeded me on that. Just haven't had the time or opportunity to do as such. And I don't know how many he's seen or whatever. And anyway, so, but we're going to go over top 2024 movies. We're going to look at IMDb's top 24 grossers, and some of them are still climbing, but I guess if you cut it off, then this is the final list. It's always been on the fence about that, whether it continues over, can it still continue up the list, because they have calendar grosses and they have in-year releases. So the in-year releases mean obviously films that were released in that year, all that they did. But if we're going by the calendar gross, that would be everything that came out in 2024. And so let's look at that real quick. Let's see, present. I've got to go pull this up. Present, share screen, sharing screen. And this is, let's see, here we go. Hopefully you can see what I can see. All right. So we're looking at the top grossing pictures, and I want to get this bigger. I don't know if I can make this any bigger. Let's see if I make this full screen. Will this go full screen? Or maybe it is full screen. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I have to be on the other screen. Okay. So anyway, we're going to look at the calendar grosses, our 2024, and the number one, starting from the number one film. Uh-oh, lost camera. Did I lose camera? Camera's on here. Settings. Okay, hold on one second. We went to integrated camera. Okay, camera switch. We're about to switch cameras back. Hold on. That's better. That's wild. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're on the camera there. Anyway, so we're looking at the calendar grosses here for 2024. Inside Out 2 ended up with 652 million. I'm just going to round them up. So 652 million as the number one film. Definitely one of my favorite films of the year. And from Walt Disney, they actually have 3 films that ended up in the top, out of the top 5 they have. Universal has 2 of them, and 3 of them belong to Disney. There's Inside Out 2 at number 1 with 652 million. Fantastic film. It wasn't super woke or anything like that. They didn't lean into any of that. They continued the story of Riley growing up and her feelings, and they added anxiety. Someone I know about, it's all too well, unfortunately, added that to the storyline, and it was just a great movie. It was just a really good movie that actually sparked in 2024 sparked a lot of conversations in families about stress and anxiety and expectations, and kids growing up and a lot of the things that they have to deal with these days, that maybe someone in my generation didn't have to worry with as much, from like cyberbullying to other stuff, and the expectations mainly of growing up kind of like on camera all the time, and it is a movie that had a lot of heart, and the parents not, Riley's getting into her teenage years, and her parents not knowing how to deal with a teenager and all the expectations, good and bad, that come with coming of age. And so it's just a really great family film, and Disney knocked it out of the park with this one. So definitely a win, the number one, at least box office wise, film of the year. Inside Out 2, fantastic. Highly suggest it. Number 2 was Deadpool and Wolverine. Talk about fan service after a lot of missteps on TV and on Disney Plus, and especially in the theaters, and not just with every property they own. Disney had been floundering. They did so great up through 2019, and then just everything just has been on a downward decline since, with a few hits here and there, like Spider-Man No Way Home, and Deadpool and Wolverine was one of the other standouts. It was $1 billion film, and these are the domestic box office for 2024. Deadpool and Wolverine ended up with $636 million. Number 2 for the year. Ryan Reynolds pulled off a great trilogy. I could care less going in about Deadpool. I don't think I watched the first Deadpool until later, and then liked it, realizing it's breaking the fourth wall. Is I didn't think it took itself serious enough, but then understanding the character of Deadpool, he's one of those people, just like Hugh Jackman was born to play Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds is every part the success of Deadpool, all 3 of the films, and because he embodies that kind of spirit, that kind of humor that Deadpool has, so a perfect match there. And there were some moments in Deadpool and Wolverine that just jumped right off the comic page, and it was just really, really awesome to see that. Excuse me. So, not sure if anyone else, if you're here in the chat, please say hi. I know some people are watching. That's fine if you thumbs up the video if you're just not watching. But if you want to add any comments, please do, and I'll try to respond to your comments live as we're recording this live stream. So anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine, $636 million, pulled out the number 2 film of the year. Awesome, just incredibly awesome. I enjoyed that film. They gave the kind of fan service that comic book fans and MCU fans were looking for, and bringing Deadpool and Wolverine and tying this is a love letter to the Fox universe of X-Men films, which there were some real bad films in there, but there were some really good ones like X2 and others. And it's good to see, Hugh Jackman was definitely an anchor being, as he was in this film, but he was, if he had something in real life in that sense with the Fox universe, he definitely anchored that. Yes, there were a lot of standouts in there, but Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine became an early favorite. And just like a lot of characters, like Heath Ledger's Joker, Michael Keaton when he was going to play Batman, they got all this backlash. There's no way you can do that. And Hugh Jackman, he's too tall for the role. Once he got, into, well, he didn't really get into the outfit, but we didn't see that finally until Deadpool and Wolverine. We got the payoff with the yellow costume. My favorite version, Caveman's favorite version, is the earlier one from the 80s, the brown. It's a lot of people's favorite Wolverine, but mine comes from the X-Men series and mainly the comics out of the 90s. So that's kind of what I was vibing with then. And on top of all that, the film was just great. It hit all the right notes that it really needed to hit for fans of the franchise and for the comics. And anyway, so number 3 was a surprise. I don't like, as it goes, I really don't like musicals, and they made sure not to market the next film as a musical, and it definitely is a musical. It's landed at number 3, and I think me and my wife have seen it 2 times, maybe 3 times. We almost went to see the sing-along version, but of course I'm talking about Wicked. And it's kind of like based on the Broadway play, which I never saw. And it is basically a Wicked is basically a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and it does the thing that a lot of the films these days do, where you take the bad villain and you make them likable, and you see that in this one you actually see the good guys are kind of the bad guys, like Glenda, or Galinda, as she says her name early in the film is, and later changes it to Glenda. She's very self-absorbed. She's a good person, but she puts herself before everyone else. And Elphaba, I always say her name, Elphaba. I'm saying it wrong, but anyway, the Wicked Witch of the West, as she's later called in Wizard of Oz. You follow the story, and she has kind of a tragic upbringing, and she's really not trying to stay in the spotlight. She'd rather her sister have the spotlight, blah, blah, blah. But she gets pulled into it, and she becomes this thing. And Michelle, is it Michelle Yeoh is in it? I could be wrong on the name there. She does a great job, and you find out with her in Oz, who is the wonderful Wizard of Oz. He is Jeff Goldblum, being Jeff Goldblum like he is, and that's all people ever need him to be. He's just so awesome in the role. And anyway, so they end up working together, conspiring against that. And there's some very cool turns in there that kind of tie things together, kind of like Rogue One was just this moment, in Star Wars with the Rebel plans and all that. And they made into one of the best Star Wars films. That was a win for Disney and a win for Star Wars overall. Rogue One, which celebrated, I think, 8 years this year. It's crazy. It seems like it's not been 8 years, but still one of the best thing that was done by Disney in the way of Star Wars, hands down, and still stands the test of time. Still a great film. Fits well in the whole pantheon of Star Wars films. The rest, the Disney ones, not so much. But anyway, so with Wicked, getting off the path here a little bit, but Wicked does that. It fills in the little blanks and does some connective tissue there in the story wise, so that you see that how they come together, the different films. And if you haven't seen Wicked, it's now on Disney Plus as of January 4th, 2025, when we're doing this live stream. It's already on Disney, and it may be the sing-along version as well, or maybe both of them, but it's still in theaters. It's still making bank. It's still doing great, and it's worth seeing. And I really enjoyed it. Wicked was one of my favorite films of the year. Right behind it, and the box office has been a little bit, but I think Wicked is going to outstretch it, where Moana's got the international. Wicked doesn't have much international compared to what Moana 2 does, and Moana 2 set records when it came out. And I saw it, and I kind of fell asleep during part of it. Some people love Moana 2, but it's not as good as the original. It was a Disney Plus series that was kind of retooled and put in the theaters, and good thing they did, because number 3, Wicked, had 432 million as of the recording of this, domestic-wise, and right on its heels, Moana 2 at number 4 for the year of 2024 is at 404 million domestic box office we see. So we're looking at Moana 2 still being a success, and all that. It ended the year at number 4. So it was okay. I just didn't like it as much as the first Moana. Number 5 for the year was Despicable Me 4. We saw that as well. It was okay. It was fun. It ends up with 361 million. So if you look at the top box office, the top 2 are neck and neck, 652 and 636 for Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, respectively. Then you fall down to the 400s for number 3 and 4, 432 for Wicked and 404 million for Moana 2. Then you fall down to the only film that made 300 million domestic box office for 2024 at 361 million, Despicable Me 4. And these films, they'll probably do 10 of these. It wouldn't surprise me. And the Minions films. This was fun. Would I go out and see it? I did go out and see it. So did I go back? No, I didn't need to. But it's a good family series of films, and it was just fun popcorn. Now the next one at number 6 was a big success this year, the year of 2024, Beetlejuice. And you know, if they do two of them, they got to do Beetlejuice. And I'm not going to say the third one because I don't want Beetlejuice to show it. But I'm sure they're fast tracking the sequel because this one ended the year at number 6, way outdoing the box office of the original, and with 294 million, and a big hit for Warner Brothers. Oh, by the way, I mentioned 2 films, Wicked and Despicable Me 4 in the top 5 were Universal Pictures, where Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Moana 2 were all Walt Disney films. But Beetlejuice, number 6 for the year, Beetlejuice. I thought there are people that came out younger than me that saw the film and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go see this film again. So it probably had some repeat business. And you know, that's fine. If you like Beetlejuice, you'll certainly like this film. I was never a big Beetlejuice fan. I love Michael Keaton's parts in it. And to me, Beetlejuice felt like it was in parts. And the Michael Keaton parts for me stood out. The rest of it kind of felt, you know, not so well put together as a film. But that's not to take away from the film because it was a fun film. If you liked first Beetlejuice, you're going to love this one. So number 6 for the year at 294 million, Warner Brothers, Beetlejuice. Number 7, a cinematic masterpiece. For some people, this will be their number 1 film of the year. This is a film I was waiting on, especially since the first Dune. Dune Part 2 ends at number 7 with only 282 million. Of course, we're not really going to look at the worldwide or domestic. I don't think we'll have time for that. But just on, that's pretty high for the year because let's be honest, 2024 was not a great year for film. There were some good films. To me, a lot of the not so great box office hits were some of the better films. These big tentpole ones, yes, they're fun. You know, not to take away anything on this list, but there's some hidden gems out there. You could certainly, if you looked hard enough, find them. And theaters still they had their moments. People came out for hits for these tentpoles like Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, Wicked, obviously, Moana 2. People were coming out for those. Some films they didn't come out for, the more artsy ones, the more lower budget ones, were still good films. They just are not getting the kind of traction that after coming out of a couple of years or so of pandemic, the film industry is still not fully recovered. When you see on a daily basis, the attendance in theaters, even weekly attendance is down. The numbers are down, I think, for the year still. They're not terrible, but they're better than they were, but they're still not great. So we're coming back from it. A lot of people in the film industry I'm still connected with. I see in some of the groups that I'm in, the chatter about, what is it? Stay alive till 25. Well, we've made it to 25. And I'm like, I know it's tough for a lot of people out there in the industry. I myself had to pivot at one point before. I had to pivot out of the industry directly because it's just hard to make a living. And the studios are getting greedy. They're letting their greed show. And they, you know, with a couple strikes going on this year and everything else that happened in 2024, and people have fundamentally changed how and when they will attend the movies. They just won't go and see everything. You get an uptick at the holidays, which we did. Wasn't really enough to save the year, but it did make it less painful of a drop than before. But anyway, box office wise, but just because something's number 1 or something makes more money than another film doesn't mean it's the best thing out there. There's a lot of fast food out there still, and it's, you know, no meat and vegetables and, you know, whatever, you know, not the healthy stuff for you creatively. But Dune Part 2 was one of those rare exceptions. I don't know where Denny, I can't say his last name, but, you know, the director of Dune 2, I don't know if he's on the fence whether he's going to do a third film. And I hope he does. But I hear the third film, some of the what it gets into seems very hard to bring to screen. We'll see. But if anybody could do it, he can do it, and he's done a wonderful job so far with everything with the Dune films, and I honestly can't say that. Let's see, something's happening here. Okay, I honestly can't say that that things aren't going to be. Sorry, let's check in my settings here. Just bear with me here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's try that. All right, so let's see. Maybe that's a little bit better. I'm not sure. So anyway, sorry. Sorry for that interruption there. But we'll see with Dune 2. We'll see where things go with that. And I'm trying to see. I'm not sure if there's anybody here. Everybody's quiet in the chat, so that's fine. You can listen. I'll keep talking. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Thank you. Dune 2 in part 2. Dune Part 2 ends the year at number 7, which is still respectable, with 282 million domestically. Another hit for Warner Brothers this year. Number 8 was a film that I didn't think it needed a sequel, and I was terrified the sequel would bomb. But I enjoyed it, and a lot of people did. At number 8, Twisters, plural. And it didn't have the original gang in it. I'm kind of glad it didn't. It had an all fresh new crew in there, and I forget the guy's name. That Glenn. What is your name? Glenn. What is your name? I can't find your name. Cast information. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't get it. It's locked behind a paywall. It's locked behind a paywall. You know what I'm talking about. Glenn. Glenn, somebody was in Top Gun Maverick. Anyway, Twisters did wonderful. It 267 million, so may have outdone the original. I don't know, but if adjusted for inflation, it probably didn't. But the original is so iconic. I love weather, and I love films about weather, just like space and stuff like that. So totally love Twisters. It was Anthony Ramos was in it. He was great in that. I kind of love to hate character in that one. And so, you know, it was good to see him on board there as well. But Twisters ended up the year for number 8 with 267 million. You see by these box office, we've been spoiled, especially going up to 2019, where I think we had 5 or 6, could have been 10 films that hit $1 billion. So, you know, collectively, you know, internationally, but there are some, you know, 200 million gets you on this list. 100 million gets you in this list even. So it's crazy, but the box office level isn't there. The industry has not recovered. It's slowly crawling its way back, and it's going to get there. Have some faith. So number 8 was Twisters, 267 million. Universal Pictures on that one. Warner Brothers had another one in the top 10, Godzilla X Kong. You don't say Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know how you say it. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. This one I did not see. Godzilla -1. I got my poster over there somewhere. I'm going to get my posters hung up. But that was a phenomenal film last year that came out. It was one of my top films. Might have been my number 2, I think. Very close to the top. But Godzilla Kong, The New Empire, I'm sure it was good. It was special effects, you know, it did great. It did much better internationally, but it did 196 million, and that was good enough for number 9. Warner Brothers, Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. Number 10, we saw this as well, and I think Jack Black was in this, Kung Fu Panda 4. And they're okay, you know, it was a film to watch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. 193 million, Universal Pictures, another one that gives them 1, 2, 3, 4 films in the top 10 for 2024. Pretty good, Universal. Pretty good. Number 10 was Kung Fu Panda, 193 million. Number 11, Will Smith is back. I knew he would be. Bad Boys Ride or Die. Some people didn't like it, but enough people liked it that it ended up the number 11 domestic box office. Number 11 on the domestic box office for 2024. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith's Bad Boys Ride or Die. And there'll probably be a sequel or spinoff or something. They always are. Number 12, I like the ending better than most of the movie. The movie was still good. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And did 171 million domestic. It's from 20th Century Fox. Oh, by the way, Bad Boys Ride or Die was Sony Pictures. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, number 12 for the year, 171 million from 20th Century Studios. And the ending of this, I'm not going to spoil it if you hadn't seen it. The ending leaves it open to a film I would like to see. I hope where it's going, and I can't say because it'll obviously spoil it if you hadn't seen it. Now, I'll respect that if you hadn't seen it. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was, I thought, pretty good. You know, I like Planet of the Apes, and that I don't call it the original trilogy. The newer trilogy was very good. That ended with war for the Planet of the Apes. But this one is good. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, number 12 for the year, 171 million. Gladiator 2. More people like this more than me. It's not as good as the original, but it was pretty good. Standout in this film, every scene he was in was Denzel Washington. If he gets an Oscar nod, I wouldn't be against it. His character was very strong in this film, and not physically strong, but, you know, he was very manipulative. It felt very Shakespearean, and, you know, felt like there was some definitely political maneuvering going on. If you watch the thing and you saw the sharks, a friend had thought the sharks were cool and it worked. And I thought it was implausible, a little impossible, but they filled the water. They could do that, fill the water and, you know, do their military battles in the Coliseum or whatever you call it. And that was pretty cool and all that. But the lead, Mescal, I forgot his name. I felt like he was there, but I didn't feel like he did a great job at acting. Certainly nothing like Russell Crowe. Nobody could touch the original. And Ridley was back trying to do his thing. And, you know, good for him. You know, Gladiator 2 was a good film. It was number 13 for the year, 164 million from Paramount Pictures. And it had some moments. The mother in there really got on my nerves. She's just kind of there. And, you know, I don't even see where her character, they were really reaching, and then they had to pull from the nostalgia berries or whatever to kind of get you to pull from the original and his dad. And this is a film, the first Gladiator doesn't need a sequel. It's fine as is. It's one of those films they probably should have left alone. But Gladiator 2, I did enjoy it. It's fun. I would watch it again. I've seen it, I think, once or twice. And it's worth seeing, even on the big screen, you know. But there are things about it that I didn't quite care for. But all in all, it's okay. It's good, and I enjoyed it. Number 14, I have not seen it, but people have gone ape shit over this. It actually stomped domestically, and then the other film came back, but it temporarily stomped Mufasa, The Lion King, which I think's a misfire from Walt Disney Pictures. I didn't care to see it. I had no interest in seeing it. You can't really improve upon The Lion King. So, you know, this could have been more interesting if they went into, they just put characters in place like a prequel and putting the characters in place and not so much developing their stories from what I understand. Like I said, I did not watch the films. I can't really judge it fairly, but from what I've seen in clips of it and people who have seen it, and looking at the box office, it didn't do so well. It's a good family film. If you want to turn your brain off and have a good, solid family kind of film, it's that, and it achieves that. But is it as great as The Lion King? No, of course not. And of course, the $1 billion one that came out, the live action that's kind of animation, kind of live action, whatever. I don't know if they ever decided what that format of the film was versus the cartoon, which is the best version of the film, and will probably always be, and that's fine. But anyway, so I know I got off on a tangent there, but how did I get down to Mufasa? I don't know. I was way off track there. But number 14 was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 at 151 million, Paramount Pictures, and it's probably going to continue growing at that rate. I think I was comparing it to Mufasa, the Lion King, and how, Sonic, these movies have gotten better. Their box office has gotten better with each film. I watched the first one. I started watching the second one, and then I got pulled away from it, never got back to it. And I haven't been to theater to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I think it's probably already on streaming, so I'll probably check it out on streaming. But I hear it's a good film, and really I hear the people enjoyed it, especially fans of Sonic, and they came out hot and heavy, early, fast, and it almost doubled the box office. It opened the same week as Mufasa the Lion King. That's what I was talking about. Whereas Mufasa it's a prequel to the Lion King. Once again, sequels and remakes, right? And prequels and sequels. So it worked for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It to me didn't work for Mufasa from what I understand, but we'll see. But anyway, number 14 for the year, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and having Keanu Reeves coming in was a big draw for this and his character. I don't know Sonic characters, so I'm not going to break down who's what and who's what. I did learn something I didn't know, and I don't know if any of you knew, but maybe you did, maybe you didn't. You can tell me in the chat if you did or you didn't. Hey, Prophet's here. Welcome, Prophet Director. Let's see. Since he's here, I'll throw this up. Prophet has a new channel. Let's see. Prophet Director. It's youtube.com/channel. Oh, geez. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen there. He's on Instagram, PD Destro 1973. But he's got a new channel. Hopefully that's the right address there. You can tell me, Prophet. Welcome, guys. So I'm just going over the box office right now. You'll see some of my cool toys later. Let's see. I'm not going to move the camera right now to show you. Anyway, so let's get back to box office where we were. Let's see. Thank you guys for being here. Where were we? Number 14, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sony Pictures, number 14 for the year, 151 million. It ends with Us. Who cares? Number 15. It was, I don't know, some film. I didn't watch it. Didn't interest me, 148 million, but it was enough to end up number 15 for the year, a Sony's Pictures film. Excuse me, Paramount Plus was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was Paramount Plus. It Ends With Us was Sony Pictures. Number 16 was one of the best films, one of the rivals Inside Out 2. And there was a time I walked out of this film when I saw it, the film we're about to talk about, and at number 16, and I thought I'd seen the best film of the year. Of course, my wife reminds me that I've done that more than once this year. I recently did it on another film that I'll tell you about. But anyway, at number 16 for the year with only 143 million, a film by Universal Pictures that should have got much better box office, The Wild Robot. And Napita, I can't say her name and I'm not going to try to. She's also in another great film this year. I believe she's in A Quiet Place Day One, which I did see, which is fantastic. And anyway, The Wild Robot ends up with 143 domestic at number 16 for the year for Universal Pictures. If you have not seen The Wild Robot, thumbs up, highly recommend it. The animation, cinematography, gorgeous. Such a warm feeling of like trying to belong and all that. You really get that in this film. It's a great family film, though it's kind of dark for like, I think some younger kids might find some, I mean, they talk about death and they hit it straight on. They don't sugarcoat anything. And it's this really it's still a beautiful movie, and it looks like it's set up for a sequel, which, sign me up. I'm ready for it. But number 16 for the year should have been much higher, should have been in the top 10, but I'll take it. Great film. Number 17, I did see this with the guys, Venom, The Last Dance. I'm not a big Venom fan, like I'm not a big Beetlejuice fan, so I'm not going to go crazy gaga over this film. Some of them loved it, thought it was the best. I thought it was okay. Venom: The Last Dance from Sony Pictures, number 17 for the year with 139 million. I thought that I think that we saw the Spider-Man adjacent films. I don't know what you call it. The Spider-Verse films without Spider-Man in them, like Madam Web bombed terribly. Craven even bombed even worse. And Venom did well internationally. It did pretty good with 139 million domestic, less than the others, but I love the first one, even though I wasn't a big Venom fan. I thought it was done really well. The second one, Venom versus Carnage, left so much on the table, so much possibilities. So it was a letdown for me. Woody Harrelson, perfect casting as Carnage. They could have went farther with that film, and they didn't. They should have. Venom: The Last Dance, okay. But at this point, I just didn't really care. I hate the title, too, but that's okay. Number 17 for the year. Some people liked it. If you like it, you'll like it if you like Venom. Number 18, a film that should have been a lot higher as well, did 138 million domestic. Paramount Pictures, A Quiet Place, Day One, and fantastic film. I love how the use of no sound, that's kind of wearing off a little bit, that thing, but it's still great sound design in this, and it works for me. I really enjoyed it. Venom: The Last, A Quiet Place, at number 18 for the year. Number 19, Mufasa: The Lion King. We talked about that. Only 128 million. That's probably going to grow from this recording because it just came out December 20th, just like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And this is a Walt Disney picture. It's done much better internationally. So overall, it's doing good. It'll make them some money. They'll probably ink out another sequel, prequel, whatever. I don't care. And rounding out the top 20, not the best in the latest trilogy of Ghostbusters film, but at number 20, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Had too many Ghostbusters in it. Had too many people on screen. The last one, Afterlife, is where they should have left it. They had the perfect send-off for Egon's character. Should have left it at that. And Harold Ramis's character, and they should have just stopped there with the original cast. It was nice seeing Bill Murray, and he seemed like he was just there kind of because maybe it was contractual, but Dan Aykroyd really seemed like he wanted to be there, and he felt really important to the film. But all in all, it was a good film, and it ended up number 20, 113 million domestic, Sony Pictures. Number 20 for the year. Now, I'm not going to go through the rest of them. At the recording of this, I've got to see Alien Romulus on the list here. I haven't seen that. But I'm going to throw up, not throw up. I better finish that sentence. I'm going to put up here on screen. Stop sharing for a second. I'm going to show you my list of what I've come up with, and this is a preliminary list, so it in no way is my list at all of my what I call geeky or geek-centered films of the year. I'm calling my top geeky films of the year, but this is just a rough estimate of what I watched, and just strictly going down from the box office. And obviously, box office doesn't mean much, but okay, if I can get this, for some reason, this does not want to pull up for me. Any other time, this would work. All right, let's get this going. See if I can. Okay. Let me share my screen right here with you all. So, boom. Let's see. There we go. So this is my it's, if you see on the screen, it's Ed's 2024 Top Films Geeky version. And this is in no way and they're in no particular order. They're just actually they're in order of their rank according to Box Office Mojo, how they did domestically for the year. Wait a minute. I don't think Inside Out 2 is on here. I think that should be on here. Well, anyway, let's pretend it's on there. That's number one. I'm not deciding if that makes my geeky version. It may make my overall version because I usually do like a geeky version, top 10, and then I'll do a like a geek centered version for the podcast here, and then I'll do like my overall. So, and sometimes usually my friend Scott comes in with his top 10, and sometimes we used to put them together, but I think we may end up doing a top 10 together, but then still show our separate ones. But because most times they overlap, we like a lot of the same things, not all the time. So I got on here and like I said, they're in the order by how they did domestically. So Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2, Twisters, and I think I need to take Godzilla and Kong the New Empire out because I didn't watch that. I may go back and watch it before I do the countdown. So this may not be on my final countdown. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Gladiator 2, which I consider that geeky enough, kind of. I'm on the fence about that. The Wild Robots, definitely in there. A Quiet Place, Day 1. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire may not make it. Some of these might not make a top 10 you see as we get farther down. I left Alien Romulus in here because I do plan to watch that. Civil War, it probably won't make it, but it's in there. Furiosa, what a disappointment that film was. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. Transformers 1, I did watch that. It was okay. It wasn't great, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought the cinematography was done really well. Some people liked it probably second best to the 1986 Transformers. This one on here I've not finished. I have not watched. I may try to go tomorrow and see it. Nosferatu. Everybody's losing their mind over this film. Edgar Winter's film. Or something Eggers. I don't know what his name is. Anyway, saying it's pretty good. I don't like any of his other films, but Nosferatu, I feel like I'll like it. And even though it's a little bit more horror than I'm used to, I may check it out. If I check it out, it'll possibly end up. I feel like it will. It's so artsy. But this one right here, A Complete Unknown. I know it's not a geeky film, but it's going to end up. It may not end up in my geeky films, but it could definitely end up in. Right now, it's trending towards the top of my list for 2024 films I've seen. I'm not really a Bob Dylan fan. I know of Bob Dylan. I know some of his stuff, and I follow him throughout the decades and all that. But I'm just not a major Bob Dylan fan. I think you kind of either love Bob Dylan or you hate him. And this film gives you a little bit to go on both sides of that argument. But it's a fantastic film. It's really, really mesmerizing, but a complete unknown. If you hadn't checked it out, you should definitely check it out. So, Digital K-Man's throwing up in there somewhere. I don't know what he's throwing up about. I'm sure he'll get over it. I'd have to care first. Tastes good. So where are we? All right, I'm going to turn my camera and everything's going to go crazy. And I'm going to show you. All right, I'm turning my camera so now you can see. There we go. Everything falls apart. I just can't move it, my light here, but there's my Millennium Falcon light, which is pretty doggone cool. And it moves up and down. It goes up or down like a mic arm does. And I was saying right here, the satellite dish or whatever you want to call it, radar dish or whatever, was broken off in there. I was like, what the heck is this? It looks familiar. And I had to glue this back on because it was messed up in the package. But I love this lamp. And so it goes up or down. And like I said, it's like a mic arm it'll go up or down. You can make this go up or down. So I'm not going to mess with it. But just so you know, if you see that little white light to the side, it's got a simple switch that turns it off and on. Let's see. Oh, you're not supposed to see that mess behind the door there. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera back. Let's hope this doesn't mess anything up. So there we go. I'm going to figure out OBS this year. It's one of my things I'm going to try to do. And so I can get, because I got an area over here where you can see some of the things that I want. Oops. I still have to take them out. Like some of my, I did a Christmas haul and I got a lot of stuff I was really excited about. Star Wars, mainly Star Wars stuff. But I'm going to show you something else I got for Christmas. Oh, I just realized my mic is in the shot here. Hold on. There we go. Here, and this is put together. It was out of the box, but look right here. One of my great finds. And you can tell me what this scale is. I've had this forever. I'm a big Battlestar Galactica fan. And this is the Viper. The Cylon Raider, not the Viper. I don't have the Viper. I want to get the Colonial Viper. So we've got this size. And then we've got this monster. How cool is this? I'm telling you. I'm going to turn the camera down here a little bit. Maybe you can see. Oh. So here's the little one. Let me turn them around. I'm not good at this, you can tell, but this is quite heavy. And this thing actually just sits on here, just literally just sits on top of that. It doesn't clamp in. It looks like there's a hole for it to clamp in, but I didn't figure that out. And it doesn't want to go in there. So I don't know. It's just kind of sitting on there right now, which is dangerous. But everything about this Cylon Raider is so awesome. Look at that. It is beautiful. I love the lines and the curves on this thing. It looks so badass coming at you from any angle, you know. And I wish I could do the sounds, but it's so cool. I love everything about this. This is not cheap. This is actually one of the most well-made ones, and it's got a bit of a hefty price I won't mention, but I'm very thankful for those who got this for me. I like the exhaust there, whatever you want to call it. It came with this wonderful book, and on that other stream where you'll see a picture of me holding the Superman, the Clark Superman action figure right there. You're watching the video, you'll see the other video. That's the one you want to click on and watch, because then I go through the book here, Battlestar Galactica book, which I'll touch on real quick. It's got some great things about the Cylon Raider, the classic Cylon Raider. Really cool. Some beautiful artwork here. And these things actually seat 3 Cylons there. He's kind of like the commander, and these are 2 pilots, pretty much. I was just watching some Battlestar Galactica the other night. These are actual from the show. Awesome. It's a lot of cool stuff in here. I love the breakdown and cross sections they do here. And these are herocollector.com/BSG for Battlestar Galactica. So if you're looking to get this model, it'll run you a little bit, but it's the Hero Collection there. The Hero Collector, Eagle Moss Hero Collector. And it can be found at herocollector.com/BSG. So really, really digging this. One of my favorite. Those are 2 of my favorite things that I've got. So now I've got this guy that I've had for years. Original Battlestar Galactica. And I'm not sure if it says what year on here. I really don't know. But this one is awesome. So this one's a little bit darker, which is fine. This one's got, if you look real close, you can't really see with the light here. You kind of see the discoloration. That's intentional. Like this is battle worn and all that. And you can see it more on the other side there. That's on purpose and all that. So it's pretty cool. So really digging those. Really, really thankful for that. It was a great gift there. Let me put it back before I break everything, because that could happen. That could happen. So I'll put the other one right here next to it, so you'll see a little Battlestar Galactica Cylon. So there you go. Pretty awesome. Back there on my shelf. And oh, And turn my lights on. I like turning the lights on. A lot of batteries. 44 batteries, if you want to know. So that's that. But so those are kind of the cool things that we got. Digital came in, said, I'm pretty sure Eagle Moss went belly up. Oh, did they? Well, I don't know if they did. You'd know better than I would, Caveman. But they did a great job while they're in business. So hopefully somebody bought their stuff out and they'll put it out. I would love to see that. That would be fantastic. Fantastico. So anyway, I don't know who's here. If anybody wants to come on the stream, I'm pretty much done. We talked about box office here. So if this were an episode, this is where I'd probably cut it. It's been an hour. So I'm going to stay on the stream for a little bit, but I'm going to cut my recording here. So I'm just, for the sake of that, I'm just going to play my outro here and all that. So bear with me, but don't leave the stream. Oh, by the way, Digital K-Man says somebody took over their Star Trek line. Well, that's good to know. That's very good to know. Anyway, so I'm going to roll my outro, which is really my intro, real quick. But the stream's not going to end, and then I'm going to open the stream up if anybody wants to come on, and we're going to continue streaming. But for the audio podcast version, I'm going to cut it here. So I'm just going to throw the outro in now. So thanks for listening to another episode of Geek Homeworld Podcast. We're on youtube.com/@Geek Homeworld4248. That's youtube.com/@Geek Homeworld4248. And we're on Twitter @Geek Homeworld. We're on Blue Sky app is Geek Homeworld something with a number. Our main site is geekhomeworld.libsyn.com or anywhere that you listen to your podcasts at. If you scroll in at the bottom of here, Profit Director, a fellow YouTuber, he's relaunched his channel. I hope that's the right link there, but you see it at the bottom on the YouTube channel of this. Please go to YouTube, Geek Homeworld 4248, and subscribe, enable notifications for new videos, and all that good fun stuff. Wherever you listen to audio podcasts, you're going to hear more from Geek Homeworld this year. 2024, I want to do a retrospective of the year. That's not going to be this episode, but I was really blessed to hit 10 years back in September, and I got a lot of things planned for the podcast, and I really grew in a lot of major ways on my YouTube channel. You'll see my other stream on YouTube where I went through the actual how many subs and everything I gained this year. So some transparency there, stuff I'm proud of. But anyway, for sake of the podcast version of this, Hangout for the YouTube, we're still going to go for a little bit. We'll see what happens. But for the audio version, this is going to complete it. So I'm going to close out with the outro, intro, whatever. Anyway, thanks for listening, Geek Homeworld. I'm your host, Ed, and thanks for listening. Welcome to the Geek Homeworld Podcast. I'm your host, Ed, a.k.a. The Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube @Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld. And that's that. We're in the comments. 83 subs. Thank you. Yeah, 83. Oh, I plugged Digital K-Man. I'll plug him again. Digital K-Man, youtube.com/@Digital Caveman with 2 N's. He does action figure reviews, live streams, interviews, shorts. I wish he'd pop in here and tell us about what's coming up Thursday live stream, but I'm sure we'll cover that in a second. He's got 804, 807 subs. I can't remember. He's been putting out some great videos. Does, I think, 5 a week. Or review stuff. So fantastic there. His Jedi powers have far exceeded mine. Give me 1 second. I need to export this file. My Audacity, for some reason, just decided, no, I don't want to export to your computer. It cut off several times, so that's good to know. I've got my backup. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I'm just going to say this Geek Homeworld EP something. 1/4/2025. Let's export all that. All right. That's probably not going to work because it's cut up. Anyway, episode 900 drops Monday. Caveman, it'd be great if you came in and talked about it, even if you didn't show your face, because sometimes you don't like to do that. I remember when it was 800. That was now you're already up to 900. Oops, what's happening here? I'm pushing the wrong buttons. So I don't know if anybody's listening. There's some people out there watching. Anyway, we're going to stay on the live stream for a little bit. We'll see how it goes. And that's that. So I don't know why my screen went dark on there. Why isn't the screen dark? That's weird. I'm seeing it. Are you seeing the screen? Why does it look dark? My camera go dark? I swear I see me on the screen here. Is it not going out over? Give me 1 second here. Just trying to catch up with myself. Did my video drop off? Because I'm seeing my video here. I'm not seeing the video on YouTube now. Well, it's showing that it's broadcasting here. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. So that is weird. Screen is black on my side since you switched cameras. Oh, crap. I wish you would have told me that earlier. Settings. Okay, camera settings. Did that just start? Okay. Have I been talking to a thing and you didn't tell me? All right, let's see what that does. Oh, that's wild. Look at the things. Let's see if that comes back. That is wild. Look at the weird kind of glow going on there. What's happening there? It's like that's frosty or something. Now it says, maybe I need to end the stream. Why is the camera not working? Because I'm seeing it. Are we good now? Let's see. That's weird. When did the camera drop off? Now I don't have my camera. Well, that's crazy. Now nobody's watching. Okay. Going to refresh. Okay. Let me edit the stage. All right. Editing the stage. I'm trying to come back and it's not showing it. Okay, and it's back. Okay, I apparently I had to turn my camera off. Intermission. Geek Homeworld Saturday Night Hangout. Okay, boom. There we go. We're back. And it's working. Okay, that's weird. I'm getting a weird kind of glow off of that camera. That's interesting. Maybe it's this light. Let's see. It's interesting. What does that do? Why is that? That is interesting how I'm getting those light effects. That is kind of cool, actually. I like that. That's kind of trippy, dude. But anyway, that's wild. I'm going to switch cameras again. Okay, so let's see what happens. Settings, integrated camera. Let's go to my 920 camera. Let's see if that's much better there. See, that works. I don't know why it's working. So that's weird. This is my that's much better. This is it has 1080p capacity, but With StreamYard, I can't go higher than that. So I'm going to figure out my new other way to do it OBS style, because I tried doing OBS, and I know how to use OBS. I've been using it for years, but just I've been having some glitches with it, really strange lately, so it wasn't working. Oh, got these, and that was another one of my gifts for Christmas that I got. Okay, JJ, he said I had the JJ. Was the lens cover on? No, it wasn't. It's doing something weird. I don't know. I don't want to wipe the screen while I'm there. I don't have anything to wipe the screen with. Maybe I do. I've got a mess in here. I got stuff piled up from my last stream. Take my Be Merry and Bright. Some 2-pack kitchen towels, Star Wars, a Mandalorian. I don't know if I got these last year or this year. I'm going to wipe the screen real quick, the camera. Make sure it's not that. I'm going to try to switch cameras and see if that didn't do something. These are pretty cool. So let's play with the cameras real quick. No, that's better. So it must have been something. Yeah, it's probably my stupid fingerprints on there. So there we go. But that's a little 16:9, but I actually like the other camera better. So let's see. I got this too from somebody. This is a cool little socket set, because you always need these. I'm always needing tools. This is kind of geeky. It's a precision screwdriver set. And it's one of these pretty cool screwdrivers. Got all the different sets to it, different things to it. It's very handy. There's even things in here I don't know what they do, but it's got all this cool little paraphernalia in there, so that's kind of cool. Just lens flare is gone. You want to see a magic trick? Anyway, so nobody's here. At least it's me and Digital K-Man hanging out, but he doesn't want to come on camera because he's got to fix his hair or something. And so I'll let him post in the chat about, so this Thursday at 9, let's see, I'll look it up. I'll try to look it up here. I don't know where you sent that to me on Instagram. Oh dear. I gotta find where Caveman sent that to me. He's like, sent 2 hours ago. I have to watch both reviews that day. One is mine and one of Raz's. Okay. Add to your story. What is this? Oh. What if I can play this? Let's see if I can put it in here. Let me try to put this on camera. I don't know if you'll hear this. I don't know if here. Adding 3 weeks of content. I don't know if you Where is it? Okay. Oops, that's me. Add to your story. What is this? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play this. Why am I not hearing this? Let's put it. That's promo. All right. So my back here. Oops, I'm going to turn that off. Hold on. I think microphones are competing, so I don't know. Let's see. So Thursday, January 9th, 2025 at 9 p.m. Eastern. On youtube.com at Digital Caveman with 2 N's. We're going to be on there. Cool. With Raziel Kane. I know I'm saying it wrong, so I always butcher his name. Raziel Kane from Raziel Kane Reviews. Join Digital Caveman Presents Raziel Kane Reviews and Geek Homeworld as we take a live look at the X-Ray X, that's XES Ray Studio combatants fight for glory, Thales, and Chaos action figures, KASOS. Okay, take another look at our content at youtube.com/@digitalcaveman with 2 N's. youtube.com/@ Raziel Kane Reviews, RAZYELKAYNE Reviews, all one word. youtube.com @ Geek Homeworld 4248. And he's got the Thanes full review and the Kazos full review there, 2 YouTube videos there. So fantastic. That's Thursday, this Thursday at 9 p.m. That will be, today is Saturday the 4th. So Thursday, January 9th. Do it. And right now, Caveman's editing 3 weeks of content as we're on here. If there's anybody else, I think there's some other people in the chat and other people watching. If you want to come on camera or on live, you're welcome to. I may shut this down a little bit. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. So not much more to talk about. I may just end my stream now and just call it a day or an evening, since everybody's kind of busy. Oh, Raziel Kane Reviews is on. He's talking a bunch of guy talking live on Ultra Magnus again. They're doing that. So that's probably where some of the other people are at right now. Anyway, so I'm just going to call it a night on this. But thank you for joining us on the stream here. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And check out some of our content on the channel. I've got my haul from my Christmas Day haul. You'll see the special picture of me and my Clark Kent Superman action figure. And I've got a lot of action figures that I'm going to show. I'm going to unbox them or get them unboxed and then bring them on camera on another episode here. So anyway, thank you for checking out everything, and thanks. Watch it all. Check out Digital Caveman's channel, Profit Director's channel, and whoever else has a channel. Just go on YouTube and watch the entire thing, and then watch it again. Alrighty, let's just play the outro, and I'll call it a night. Thanks, guys. Bye. Welcome to the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, Ed, aka The Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube at Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld.